Hello guys and welcome to Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc. This is the first entry in the Danganronpa series, a visual novel series made by Spike Chunsoft, and this is the start to one of my favorite video game series of all time. For any newcomers to the series, this is the entry you want to start with, because pretty much every single entry after this spoils this entry in some way or calls back to it, so definitely start here. So before we even hop into the game, there's actually something cool about the title screen. If we go ahead and go into the options for a second and then go back out. So on the left side of the screen we have our protagonist, but on the right side of the screen it swaps between a variety of different characters who we'll be seeing throughout the game. Like that guy, for instance. Another thing that's very important to note is that the thing about Danganronpa is that the audio mixing can be very strange in some ways. The voice volume ends up being way too low, and the background music ends up being way too loud. So definitely be sure to go into the settings, change the volume of the background music and of the sound effects, and make sure the voice volume is all the way up. Reticle speed is for when you're in a room and you're looking at a bunch of different stuff. Think about it like the Ace Attorney series, where during the investigation segments, you would actually look around at different things, examine them, and you'd get some flavor text, or you'd get just like something that moves the case forward or whatever. I'll just be keeping it at the default because I never really had any problems with the reticle speed during any of my playthroughs. Movement Bob, there's actually going to be some 3D movement of the game, kind of like a first-person sort of thing. And all this changes is whether or not your character like moves up and down when he walks, or if he just moves completely straight. I'll leave the movement bob on because I like it, I guess. And that's pretty much all of the options we have right now, so without further ado, let's go ahead and just hop into the game. Alright, so the language here, this is for the audio, whether or not the characters will speak with the English dub or with the original Japanese audio. I'm going to be sticking with Japanese just because that's my preference, but if you want to check out the English dub for this game, which the English dub is also pretty good, I'd highly suggest getting the game for yourself. You could usually get it for like $20, and I think it goes on sale for like $14 every now and then, so definitely check this game out. I think it's pretty good. That's why I'm let's playing it. And then we actually have difficulty settings. Throughout the game there will be various mini games that you have to complete in order to progress the story, and this shows the difficulty. I don't know exactly what, like specifically what mini games these change. I think I have a basic idea, but just so I don't accidentally mess with anything, I'm going to keep it on kind, which is kind of like the normal difficulty. You could set it to mean. Again, if you want to see what the mean difficulty is like, definitely pick up the game for yourself. Without further ado, let's jump right into this. What a hell of an opening, huh? I think it was pretty cool. The massive high school towers over all the other buildings in this bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world. Hope's Peak Academy. It brings in top students from every field imaginable, a government-funded school of privilege. They say that if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. With hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every year. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. There are two things you need to attend this school. One, you have to already be attending high school. 2. You have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student can enroll here. The only way in is if you're scouted by the school itself. And standing there at the gate of the ultimate school filled with the ultimate students was me.
まずはオーソドックスに自己紹介から始めたいと思う。僕の名前は苗木誠だ。
So yes, this is our protagonist here. His name is Makoto Naegi. I was actually, before recording this, I was, debating with myself how to pronounce this guy's first name, because the original Japanese pronunciation is Makoto. But pretty much every single game or anime or anything that has an English dub pronounces the name as Makoto. So I was thinking about whether I wanted to say Makoto because it's closer to how it's actually pronounced, or if I want to say Makoto because that's pretty much how every single English-speaking game or anime pronounces it. I think I'll just stick with Makoto because, I don't know. In my head it sounded a lot less, natural, but now that I'm saying it out loud, I'll probably get used to it. As you can see, I'm nothing but a hopelessly average high school student. Oh, by the way, Makoto's Japanese voice actor is Megumi Ogata, who does a lot of, she is a very prolific voice actor. She's the VA for Ken from Persona 3, and in the 100-line Last Defense Academy, Megumi Ogata voices Ima from that game, because a lot of the games made by Kodaka, who is the main sort of director or writer or scenario writer or whatever the proper credit is, he likes to include Megumi Ogata in a lot of different projects. You'll see her pop up in a lot of different Danganronpa stuff, and then when I get around to Let's Playing some Kodaka's other stuff, then you'll see her pop up a lot again too. Megumi Ogata also voices Shinji from Evangelion, which is a very popular anime, something that I still need to watch because it seems kind of right up my alley, but I still haven't watched it yet, so I'll get around to that eventually. Something that I also recently learned is that Megumi Ogata voices Yugi in Season 0 of Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's Season 0 specifically. After that, a different voice actor came in. So that's pretty cool. She does a lot of awesome stuff. She's really cool. Makoto's English voice actor is Bryce Papenbrook, who is the current English voice actor for Silver from the Sonic the Hedgehog series, and he's also done a couple of characters from the Persona series, so he's also been in a lot of stuff. Average on the outside, average on the inside. I really don't have much going for me when it comes to grades, special abilities, even personality. I mean, yeah, I have hobbies and stuff I like to do, but it's not like I'm a psychic or a mutant or whatever. So I believe this is supposed to be a reference to the X-Men. I believe that this line in the original Japanese version also had a reference to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is another thing that I need to check out. That's another manga or anime or whatever that I need to check out. One thing that you will kind of notice going through the Danganronpa games is that the creators love to throw in a lot of pop culture references and stuff like that, and just references to stuff they like. If you ever run into a line and you're like, what the hell is this person even trying to say? Just assume that it's a reference to something that you haven't watched or read yet. If you asked me what my favorite song was, or my favorite movie or TV show, they'd all just be whatever's most popular at that particular moment. Even among the average, I'm completely average, so I can't even say I'm your everyday hero type. That's just who I am. Anyway, I figure it's always good to introduce yourself right off the bat. But if I have any kind of strong point, so to speak, I'd say that I'm a little more gung-ho than other people. So he's perfect for being a protagonist. I mean, look at me. I'm completely ordinary, but still, here I am standing in front of the anything but ordinary Hope's Peak Academy. I still can't believe I'm standing here. I wonder if someone like me can even survive in a place like this. It's got this overwhelming presence, like it's trying to swallow me whole. But it's no wonder that I would feel that way. What you have to understand is, well, let me just tell you about the preparation I did last night to get ready for today. So yeah, here's a little message board here. Note that all of the posts here say August 20th, 2010. Just something to keep in mind. It's not that important, but it's something that kind of irks me a little bit. It's really not that big of a deal, but just something I'd like to point out. Let's see what the posts say. Come on, keep it coming. Apparently my friend knows them. I guess everything there's state of the art. This year's Ultimate Pop Sensation is going to be there. Yeah, the Ultimate Baseball Pros could be there too, so let's keep an eye out for those two. Ultimate Pop Sensation, Ultimate Baseball Star. So jealous, it's only for winners. Is there a way for me to get rid of the text box? Nope, that's not what I meant to do. Crap. I can't access the log that has all of the dialogue in it, so I accidentally skipped that line and I can't go back. So jealous, it's only for winners. It's a wonder. I think it's supposed to say it's a wonder how anyone can get in, and then someone says anyone can't. It's such a popular topic that there are threads online dedicated to talking about the school's attendees. So to prepare, I looked up some of those threads, and all I saw was talk about ultimate students, who are way beyond your average high schooler. For example, one incoming student is the ultimate pop sensation. I guess she's a high school girl who's also the lead singer for a pop group famous all over the country. I like how Makoto says "I guess" here, as if he doesn't really care about pop sensations or idols or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure he actually is a pretty big fan of hers, and there is a reason for that we're going to get into later, but I just like how he's pretending to be really nonchalant about it. Also, a fun little fact here is that the two characters at the edge of the screen, the one on the far right and the one on the far left, those two characters actually have cameos in later entries, very small cameos where they pop up for just a second. So that's fun. There's also the ultimate baseball star. He was the cleanup hitter for the national high school champs. Pro teams already have their eyes on him. I think, and I'll have to double check this, but I think because this game came out in 2010, late 2010, I think baseball was especially in this era, really big, a really big thing that a lot of people were into at the time, and idols as well. And I think that's why both of those are a prominent thing in Yakuza 5 as well, because I think both idols and baseball were really big at the time in Japan. I'll have to double check that though. Then there's the ultimate fashionista. She's been on the cover of tons of fashion magazines. She's what every high school girl wants to be. Yeah, and the magazines have such nice things to say about her, I love how they went through the trouble of adding text to all of the different magazines and having them all look like actual magazines, but with the final one in the top right, they just gave up and just keyboard smashed. Oh, and they mentioned the ultimate biker gang leader too. The scary thing is, he's the de facto leader of every biker gang in Japan. Gangs everywhere love the guy. I remember I used to think that this line meant that he was the leader of every single biker gang in the country, but no, it just means he's the leader of a very big biker gang, and all of the other biker gangs in the country look up to him. On top of that, there's the ultimate martial artist, the ultimate fanfic creator, the ultimate gambler, the ultimate swimming crow, the ultimate programmer, the ultimate clairvoyance, and then some. So, as you just saw, pretty much every character in this game has some sort of ultimate talent. They're the ultimate this, ultimate that. In the original Japanese version, ultimate wasn't the word they used. They called them super high school level. So for example, instead of the ultimate pop sensation, they were the super high school level idol. And I think they went for ultimate just because it rolls off the tongue a bit more, saying super high school level every single time is a bit more of a mouthful. It's kind of like how, sorry to bring up Yakuza again, but how when the Like a Dragon games got translated to English, the translators decided to go with the name Yakuza because it rolls off the tongue and it's a bit less of a mouthful than Like a Dragon. And then they decided to go back to Like a Dragon for English releases, kinda, because they also try to shove the word Yakuza into every single title. I'll discuss that more when I actually play the Yakuza games. Let's actually talk about Danganronpa, because that's the game I'm playing right now. I felt like a tame little house cat who'd wandered into a pride of lions, but still there was something I couldn't stop thinking about. You see, there were a few students who I couldn't find any info on no matter how much I looked. With all those ultimate students, I'm the only one without any kind of worthwhile talent. But then, what about those other new students who didn't seem to pop up anywhere? Could they just be average students like me without any talent or anything? That thought was kind of encouraging. I mean, I know I don't have much in the way of personality. You can see how Makoto's very self-deprecating in this opening segment here. He gets better. He stops bringing up the fact that he's average and ordinary every 2 seconds in a little bit. But you can kind of notice here how he's just I don't know how an ordinary average person like me could ever end up here. It's just we get it, man. I promise we get it. You don't have to repeat it 24,000 times. But beyond that, there's a even bigger issue. How did such an unbelievably average student like me get picked to come to this ultimate high school? I mean, I guess there is a reason. I'm picking on Makoto a little bit here, but I do actually like him. He's one of my favorite characters in the series. You just have to take one glance at the acceptance letter they sent me to see why. So here's something interesting. That orientation guide is dated 2014, which doesn't make any damn sense because those posts on the forum said they were from August of 2010, which means that the latest point that Makoto could, join the school is 2011 because the Japanese school year starts in April. So those posts were made in August 2010, and so all of those students would join in April of 2011. I've seen some people say in a comment section somewhere that maybe it's because 2014 is the year that they're going to graduate, because if they start in 2011, then their first school year would end in 2012, their second school year would end in 2013, and then their final school year would end in 2014. I feel like that's not what's intended though, because in the original PSP release, it said 2010 instead of 2014, which was the year that the game released. Which I don't know if that makes any sense either. I don't know. Let's just say, for the sake of it, that the original PSP version made a mistake, and this is for the class of 2014. And so Makoto's actually joining Hope's Peak at the start of 2011. There, fixed it. One thing that I've noticed about the Danganronpa series is that it's kind of supposed to take place whenever. It's supposed to be timeless, so they don't really care about, what specific year that it takes place. So there are a lot of, conflicting dates about, what year this takes place, or how long after a certain event was. So yeah, just something I thought I'd kind of point out here. We recently had a lottery to select one ordinary student to attend our school. As a result, you've been selected, and we invite you to join us as the ultimate lucky student. So an interesting thing about this game, sorry to go off on so many tangents, but the anime adaptation decided to use super high school level instead of ultimate for what these kids' talents were, because the anime was localized by a completely different group. So the translations for the talents and stuff like that is a bit different in the anime. Interestingly, Makoto's overall talent, Lucky Student, was kept the same, so he's the super high school level Lucky Student in the anime adaptation. But we'll see a bit later that some of the students have completely different talents. They mean the same thing, but it's worded completely differently in the anime adaptation. They spelled it out plain as day. I got invited by pure luck. Honestly, I probably would have been better off just declining their offer. But after hearing how graduating was a guarantee for success later in life, I just couldn't say no. But then, actually standing there in front of the school, I started to feel lost, like I didn't belong there. I could feel myself losing my nerve. But still, I can't just stand here in front of the gate forever. Frozen in place, murmuring to myself, I looked down at the acceptance letter clutched in my hand. It said that there'd be a meeting for all incoming students in the main hall at 8 a.m. The meeting still isn't for a little while, but I should probably just head in. Yeah, let's do this. I gathered up all of my determination and tried to act like I'd done this a million times before. And I took my first step toward the main hall. This is where we're supposed to meet, right? I guess I'm the first one here. There's a really elegant clock over in the corner. It says 7:10 a.m. The meeting doesn't start until 8 o'clock, so there's still a full 50 minutes left. It makes sense nobody else would be here yet. I was so wound up I got here way too early. I have plenty of time before the meeting. Just standing here waiting isn't exactly... I should take a look around the school. Maybe that'll help me calm down a little. I am a student here now, so there shouldn't be any problem with me having a look around, right? It'll help me kill some time if nothing else. Trying to play it cool, I took my first step into Hope's Peak Academy. It was also my first step towards starting a new life at a new school. At least, that's what I was hoping for. What the? But the instant I took that first step forward, my view became warped, twisted. It was like some kind of delusion, melting away and mixing together into something else. Spinning, mixing, melting away, then spinning again. And the next moment, everything went black. That was how it all began. And how life as I knew it came to an end. At that point, I should have realized the reason I was brought to Hope's Peak Academy wasn't because I had ultimate good luck. It was so I could experience ultimate despair.
Danganronpa.